Hello, I'm Terrydavidmulligan. I am the host of Mulligan Stew podcast, the TDM YouTube channel, and Tasting Room Radio. But in this case, I'm acting as a member of the Critics' Choice Association, based in Los Angeles, Canadian and American film critics who do it for a living. And it's their award show coming up. Now, it was supposed to happen in January, but because of the tragic wildfires, everybody was told to just stay home, and they shut everything down. And the awards are going to happen on Friday, February the 7th. They were postponed twice, but I think they're ready to go now. They've got those fires under control. So I've done this for the last couple of years. I gather some film critics on Zoom, and we have at it. We're never going to agree, ever. And in this case, we don't. But that everybody else is like that. I think if you sit around and you talk about the films of the year or the television series of the year, no table is going to agree. It just doesn't end up in fistfights. This is more like a cage match. So what we have is Hillary Atkin, who produces and hosts and founded the Atkin Report, a trade publication, has done since 2007, I think. Shawn Edwards, troublemaker. Fox 4 Kansas City. He helped to found the Celebration of Black Cinema and Television Awards, and is actually very close to helping to open the Black Movie Hall of Fame in Kansas City shortly. They've been working on it a couple of years now. And then in Chicago, Reginald Ponder, probably wondered what he got into. He is the Real Critic, Chicago Indie Critics Association, and just a really fine film critic, and well-spoken and polite, actually. Could be Canadian. Anyways, and then myself. And I'm going to let them have at it. That's just what you do. You set things in motion, and away you go. And we'll go over the list. We're going to do a movie. We're going to do film. We're going to do male and female, and maybe director in there as well. We don't have a lot of time. So, and again, the awards will be broadcast on E! On Friday, February the 7th, from 7 to 10 Eastern, 4 to 7 in real time, and here on the West Coast. And Chelsea Handler is still going to be the host. Thank you, Chelsea Handler. It's on E! Channel. And if you can't get E! Channel, there are a couple of websites you can go to that will let you know how you can get around that and find it and find those feeds. It's on Fubo, it's on DirectTV, and it's on E! Channel. It's the 2025 Critics' Choice Awards. Please welcome Shawn Edwards, Reginald Ponder, and Hillary Atkin, and myself. Enjoy. I'm Terrydavidmulligan. This is actually, it's an edition of Mulligan Stew, Tasting Room Radio, and the podcast and the YouTube channel. It's all in one because this weekend, Sunday, is the annual Critics' Choice Film Awards, Film and Television Awards in Los Angeles. And we've been doing this. I went back and looked, Shawn Edwards. I went back and looked. We go back 5 or 6 years easily. And then it was in the archives. Anyway, Shawn Edwards from Fox 4 in Kansas City. The celebration of Black cinema and television, the man who helped to organize and bring that forward. And when I last talked to you, you said you were shaping the Black Movie Hall of Fame in Kansas City. How's that shaping going on?
Going very well. The building's under construction. We broke ground on October the 17th. Man. So they've been in there actively working since then. The building should be completed around November of 2025, and the Black Movie Hall of Fame comes online February 1st, 2026.
And Reggie, what are you building?
I'm trying to follow Shawn. Let me just say this on a real serious note. The type of stuff that Shawn has been doing, you just mentioned the celebration of Black cinema, but there's the celebration of Latinos, there's celebration of LGBTQ. These celebrations are so important and so impactful. And if you've ever attended any one of these, you walk out so inspired and so rah-rah that you're ready to follow Shawn wherever. And then when you look at what's happening with this with the building that he's building, I've been following on social media, and I am ready to come out there as soon as possible to support him in that. So, so I'm not building like Shawn, but I'm surely behind him. I'm behind him 100%.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. It's a building for we just building it for everybody, man.
I got to get Reginald's his intro. Reginald Ponder, the real critic, Chicago Indie Critics, the African American film critics, and they're all Critics' Choice, as a matter of fact. And we're expecting one more, Hillary Atkin. She's been busy today because we're leading up to the awards, and everybody's going to her for leadership and answering questions.
Yes.
So she may join us before we're done here. Here we go. So guys, first of all, the awards. It seems to come by faster every year. And Shawn, you've been there almost from day one. How much have they changed? And because we're always bounced between the Globes and the Oscars, but I seem to get a sense that all of a sudden they're paying attention to what we're doing and what we're saying and what we're going to say.
I think they always have. I mean, this show began in a closet, now it's in a ballroom. So, it's been 30 years. It's the 30th anniversary of the Critics' Choice Awards, and now we've added television. We did that a few years ago. So Critics' Choice Awards, film and television. I mean, it's a really big deal. I think the Critics' Choice Awards have been a big deal. Like I said, it started in the closet way back in the day, but I think studios and streamers have paid attention to the show for a really long time. And I think the general public gets a big kick out of watching it on television because it's a real good time. And the movies and the TV series that get honored are being awarded by legit film critics. I mean, people who are out here every day working for outlets around the world. I mean, you got LA Times, New York Times, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, got Fox affiliates, ABC affiliates, a lot of cool digital platforms. You got people out here who are actively, watching films and watching TV series and sharing their thoughts and perspectives with the world. And that's who these group of 600 critics are. So when you are honored enough to win an award from the Critics' Choice Association, it's the real deal.
It's a real deal. How am I going to shut him down? He's just going to keep going. Hillary Atkin. Hi, Hillary.
Hi. I just want to start off by saying we are not the first award show out of the gate. Awards do not exist in a vacuum. However, we are the second show out of the gate after the Golden Globes, and we are competitive with them in that we both honor film and television. And one thing that I think happens with the Globes is someone who makes an incredibly moving and resonant acceptance speech can move to the top of the heap. And especially we as critics are still in voting mode. Shawn, I see you disagree with me, but I firmly believe that. And case in point, I'm going to say Demi Moore for Best Actress.
There you go. What are you saying, Shawn?
No, speeches. I mean, I pride myself in being a professional film critic. I watch what I watch. I watch everything all year. And if I wasn't digging your performance, I don't care how great your speech is at some other show. I'm still not down with it. It don't work like that. But it don't work like that.
But Shawn, it got a lot of press too, buddy. It really did. As you know, it's momentum. It's momentum here.
Nah, I disagree because the Academy's not going to go lock, stock, and barrel with any other show. That's never happened. It's never happened.
Aren't you glad you came, Reg?
Oh, I'm always glad that I came, and I think I'm on Shawn's side on this one. Is that the film has to move me, not the speech.
Yeah, thank you, Hillary. I went to read your credits, and I didn't write them down. Give them the credits on screen, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I run the Atkin Report out of Los Angeles. I've been doing it since 2007, as well as I write for various trade publications and some consumer magazines. My background is actually in television news, where I was a reporter and producer, and then I moved on to producing A&E biographies on movie and television stars, including Robert Duvall and Nicolas Cage. So those were incredible projects to be involved in.
Thank you. Now let's start right now. In that, I need to know your reaction to Golden Globes. Hillary, how'd you like it? The show?
you know, we've all followed the history of the Golden Globes quite closely. They were, a couple of years ago, they were decimated by reports of racism and corruption. The whole thing folded. It has a new owner, but last year they had a horrible host and a guy named Joe Coy that barely anyone had ever heard of. He did a horrible job. So they were still in the doghouse because of that. But I think this latest edition with Nikki Glaser hosting and a really great turnout and being on CBS and Paramount Plus, you know, brought them maybe not back to the glory days of all the years they were on NBC, and even going back in their history, they've had a scandalous history pretty much their entire life. But I'm just saying that as a television show, as an award ceremony, this past Golden Globes was pretty good. And, you know, I'm going to give credit to Nikki Glaser for doing a great hosting job, coming off her turn roasting Tom Brady. She was great at that. And, you know, well, I may not have loved every joke. She had a few that landed pretty well in the room. So okay. I'm sure Chelsea Handler will do an amazing job for our show. Let me just say that.
Sure, she will. How about the choices, Reggie? Did they get their choices right? Did you agree with most of what the awards handed out?
Did they get them right? You know, I don't know if we can ever say who got them right. The real question that I would ask is that that you should have asked me, did I agree? And the answer would be no. I didn't agree overall. And so for instance, and we're going to get into it, but when we look at best motion picture, they did The Brutalists, and it just didn't rise to that for me. And so I'll talk about, you know, what films when we get to that point, but The Brutalists didn't rise to that for me, and that is the most prestigious, really. And so it'll be interesting what CCA does as it relates to motion picture, and also the ones that'll follow, the organizations that'll follow us as well.
I got to tell you guys, the most interesting part of this discussion is watching Shawn. He's got a thought in his mind, and the thought is running through the ears and straight out. And
Shawn got that. He has that that marquee going across, and you can just see. The only thing is, he's so far away we can't read the letters, but he definitely has that marquee going across.
Anyway, you want to add anything to that, Shawn?
No, because every second spent talking about the Golden Globes is less time talking about the Critics' Choice Award.
Let's talk about the Critics' Choice Award. Thank you so much.
Who cares about the Golden Globes? Who cares?
Normally, I would start with the actors and work up, but I'm going to start with Best Picture because that's what everybody's talking about. There's 10 of them up there. There's is there anything that jumps out at you immediately, Shawn, that says that this is the film of the year?
Not at all, because there is no film of the year. All 10 of these movies are weak in their own right. They all have weaknesses, and none of them are great.
Wow, that kind of year, huh?
Yep.
Really?
There's not one. No, there's not. What film is great? And they all have weaknesses.
You didn't like A Complete Unknown?
No, not at all. It was too fabricated. If you're going to punish films in the past for being fabricated, you got to punish that one. That one was highly fabricated.
Nickel Boys.
Too austere, too artsy, a little too clever for its own good, and not really it's not a viewer-friendly movie. It's tough. I loved it personally, but nah.
Sing Sing.
Not too small. Too small.
I'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
Hillary. What do you think about those 10?
You know, I'm looking at the list, and we've got to take note that Wicked and Conclave each have 11 nominations. Dune Part 2 has 10 for Critics' Choice. As does Amelia Perez, and The Brutalist has 9. I agree with some of what Shawn said, but a couple of these do really stand out for me. I'm feeling like the race for us at Critics' Choice may come down to The Brutalist versus A Complete Unknown, with Conclave being the spoiler. Also, Anora had such buzz, and it's really, really fallen off. None of these films, except for Wicked, are what I would consider mainstream. I think Nickel Boys was too niche The substance was too scary and disturbing. I liked a few of these. I'll tell you what my personal favorites are. And they are first The Brutalist, then Honora, A Complete Unknown, and then Conclave.
That's pretty good. That's 4 out of 10. How about you, Reggie?
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Shawn say that none of them rise to the top, because the way I look at film is, did any of them move me? And a couple of them did. And the ones that moved me, Sing Sing moved me. And I know, I mean, I just heard Shawn say, hey, it's too small. But if a small person pushes you in the back and you feel it, then it doesn't matter. And I felt it. I felt what was happening in that movie, and I felt it very, very deeply. And then not knowing, I went into the movie not knowing that that the other actors were people from the program. After I found that out at the end, I was like, oh my goodness, it moved me even more. So the top of my list would be Sing Sing, because it absolutely moved me. Conclave actually did something for me as well, because it gave me this kind of inside look of what could happen as you're trying to replace the Pope. And I just think that the acting in it overall was good. Maybe The Brutalist for me, the 3.5 hours, that was long. It was just long. I was like, okay, are we getting there? When will we get there? Was the acting good? Yes, but it didn't move me, and it doesn't rise to the top. And then everybody had this buzz on Honora, and I just didn't understand it. I'm flabbergasted. I am befuddled. I'm bewildered. I'm beside myself, because I don't understand what the allure is for that particular movie. So those will be my thoughts. Oh, I will say about Nickel Boys is that I do think that I did get a chance to speak to Ramel about the film, and he had said something about he put poetry in it. And when you put poetry in it, poetry is a vast art. And so when you do that, you run the risk of speaking to some people and maybe not speaking to others.
There was poetry in A Complete Unknown, Reg, coming out of Dylan's mouth and mind.
Yeah, I probably like that better than Shawn did. I like that better.
But if the poetry's coming from Dylan, just give Dylan the Grammy.
Yeah.
Not that.
It's coming his way. It's coming his way. So Shawn, I give you the stage here and say, what was your movie of the year?
Out of the ones that are nominated, or just out of all the movies I saw in 2024?
Whatever, yes.
Man, I really like man, I was big on horror. I mean, if I had to pick a movie that's nominated, I mean, I really did like The Substance from day one. I like Long Legs a lot. Strange Darling was good. It was a really great year for horror. You know, I saw The Glow. I saw the TV Glow was great. I mean, those are some great movies. But if I had to pick one, it was a small movie called We Grown Now. Just, I mean, hit all the beats. If Karen Culkin starred in and Paul Thomas Anderson directed We Grown Now, it'd be a slam dunk win. And that's the problem with the narrative of these award shows. A lot of times it's who the movie's made by or attached to, because there's just certain things I don't understand. And I 100% agree with Reggie. That narrative around Honora almost made me sick to my stomach. I'm like, we really out here trying to get this girl a Best Actress award who played a stripper, but we couldn't even nominate Daniel Deadwyler for playing, Emmett Till's mom. I'm like, come on. Like, we wasn't out here trying to give Ice Cube Oscars and Critics' Choice Awards for the Players Club. I mean, you know what that's all about, the stripper with the heart of gold and all that type of story that was so unrealistic and not based in any truth and totally unrealistic. Like, come on, let's stop with that. I mean, that was just a horrible narrative. That movie was not good.
And Terry, if I may, I am so happy that Shawn brings up this movie, We Grown Now. It's based in Chicago, and it's about these two young boys from their perspective about what happened in Cabrini Greens during a time when there was a murder that occurred. Yeah. And it was accurate. It
yes.
It was accurate. It was done so well. But when Shawn used the word small, it's such a small film that it just didn't rise to the occasion for, I think, most viewers. But this was a very, very good film, and I loved it. I'm so glad Shawn brought that up.
What happened to Amelia Perez?
It's there. I mean, it's Amelia Perez. It hits those beats, but I mean, it ain't perfect either. But if I had to pick one film that I would be happy with winning Best Picture, it'd be Amelia Perez.
Thank you, Hillary. Just as an aside note, and you made a point of letting me know how these films are pitched to you in Los Angeles. Has that changed? Is there a story there?
There's a story that, I think all of us in the industry know, but the public may not know. These awards are huge and very costly campaigns. And a lot of what gets nominated is a result of who puts the most money into putting on all these different events in award season. I mean, what is better for a voter than meeting, I'm going to say Danielle Deadwyler, because I think The Piano Lesson should have been among the nominees for Best Picture. I personally love that film, but I had an opportunity because they were campaigning very hard for that film. Shawn, you know this because you were there. We had the opportunity to meet all the principal players of that film. Malcolm Washington, John David Washington, Danielle Deadwyler. There's really nothing more personal about being able to talk to the filmmakers and the cast about a film that you've seen.
Dude, I met the entire cast of Barbie. I got drunk with Ryan Gosling. I was never going to vote for that movie ever because that movie was not good. Ryan Gosling was fun. Margot Robbie's fun. I go out and hang with them all night long, but I'm never voting. Them parties don't mean nothing because I consider myself a professional film critic. I'm not swayed by nothing. They can come to my house right now. And if I don't like it,
wait a minute. Reggie, what's he saying?
I think that it actually can work both ways. So, as it relates to Nickel Boys, for instance, sitting down watching it by myself, I didn't get it all. I really didn't. But sitting talking to Ramel helped me get some of it. So I understand where Hillary's coming from as it relates to that, because then now when I watched it the second time, it was like, oh, that's what I missed. Okay. So that little insight does help in terms of understanding the film and giving me a different view. Does the fact that Romel told me that impact whether I'm going to vote for it? No, it doesn't. But it does impact how now I see the film because I've learned something I didn't. Now, where it backfires is that then I ask myself the question, are there other people like me who didn't get it? And does that mean they need Romel to get it? So it can work both ways. One way in that I get more information, but the other way where I say, man, if I didn't get it, did you really tell the story right? So
exactly. If you need the director to talk to you personally, he didn't do a good job, or they didn't do a good job making the movie, because you're supposed to universally understand what's going on. You're supposed to understand the beginning, the middle, the end. You're supposed to understand the plot structure. You're supposed to be moved by the character arcs. If this ain't the award doesn't go to the film whose director had a chance to give you a private conversation to help you understand the movie. In fact, that movie should be disqualified.
I understand that. I understand that, Shawn. But here's where I'll give a little bit of pushback. Is that when I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar and his hit, You're Not Like Us, I didn't get everything in the film. I needed somebody in his lyrics. I needed somebody to tell me all the references that he made. So now that I listen to it, I can listen to it with a different ear and say, I like it better or I don't like it better. But now that I understand what the references are, that does help.
Okay, you guys, I got to move forward because I got to get to best actor, best actress. Okay, I have to.
Yeah. Well, did we come to a consensus on best film?
No, we did not.
I go Amelia Perez.
No, we did not. No, that's what Amelia Perez is about. There's no consensus.
I'm going Sing Sing.
Okay.
Best actor.
You're gonna have a long night.
I saw three names jump out at Best Actor: Adrian Brody, who hadn't been there for a while, Brutalist, Daniel Craig, Queer, and Hugh Grant, Heretic. I mean, I never expected to see Hugh Grant back on the list again, and that's only three of the nominees. Hillary, tell me who jumps out at you for this.
You know, it's funny. I love both Hugh Grant and Daniel Craig in those roles, and one of the reasons I did, they were so unexpected. You know, and I thought both of them did an absolutely amazing job. I don't think either one of them will win, but I'm really happy that they're nominated. For me, Adrian Brody was it. I couldn't help flashing back to The Pianist, you guys. I just could not help it. And I just thought he was brilliant in the film. I feel like if we're going to make predictions, it's going to come down to Adrian or Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown. Whether anyone here agrees or not, I feel the momentum for Timothy. So every single one, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing. I mean, Ray Fiennes, he was fantastic in Conclave. Just a side note, Stanley Tucci took me a little bit out of the film because I felt like he was going to be comedic, and it was like, wait a second. Anyway, I didn't love Conclave, but I did love Ray Fiennes, and it was kind of apparent from the release of that film that Rafe would be nominated. So that's my long take on it.
And it pressed, if you had to give one name, what would it be?
Adrian.
Thank you. Shawn Edwards, what have it?
Oh no, I love what Coleman did, because not only did Coleman carry the film, he had to work with non-actors, and if you've ever been in that situation before, man, that could be pretty daunting. That could be harder than working with kids or animals, because you're working with non-professionals. So he should get extra points for that. But it's 600 members. They're gonna swoon over the little boy man. So it'll probably go Timothée Chalamet, but I mean, I didn't buy him in the complete. I mean, his performance was okay, and if not Timothée Chalamet, everybody seems to be on the Adrian Brody train. Give him another award for playing the exact same character he did in The Pianist.
Reggie, what do you think?
Well, I already told you that I thought that my favorite film was Sing Sing, so I'm going with Coleman. I just think that
amazing.
What he made me feel in that film. I mean, I just felt his character. I felt his plight. I felt the situation, and it moved me. One of the things that I like to say to myself, what movie would I watch again? So it's really interesting when Shawn says that there's not that many good movies out there. So if I look at that list again and I say, well, which ones am I going to watch again? Sing Sing, I'm going to watch again.
And you're going to watch with friends. You're going to recommend it.
Absolutely. We're going to sit down at my house. We're going to watch it. We're going to discuss it. And I'm going to cry again. We're going to watch that one again. So that's one of my litmus tests. Which film will I voluntarily sit down to watch again?
That's a good test. And I said none of these films are great, which means 10 years from now, when it's 2035, or when it's 2045, no one's going to remember any of these movies.
Okay.
I'll put money on that.
Thank you. Are you going to be around for that?
I hope. That's I'm working out, I'm eating right, drinking lots of water. We'll see. I want to win this bet.
Let me see if I can get this actress in here before I lose you. And I'm going to start with you, Hillary. Who's your choice? And has it changed?
On Best Actress?
Yep.
This is such an eclectic group of women. My personal favorite are two. I'm not going to narrow it down to one, Terry. Cynthia Erivo and Angelina Jolie in Maria. That was a film. It's a very unusual reaction for me. I started off not liking it, and by the end of it, or towards the middle, I was like, oh my God, I love this film. She's brilliant. So it's those two really stand out. I'm going to say again, I think Demi Moore has momentum. It wasn't my favorite. I'm gonna stick with Cynthia and Angelina. Also, you know who's getting huge amounts of buzz, obviously, is Carla Sofia Gascon.
Yep.
So I think that
And some of that buzz
there's
is
a
not
possibility.
exactly. Some of that buzz is
win.
not exactly overwhelming. I mean, it's there's a downside to it as well.
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, there's controversy about it. Absolutely.
Not touching that.
Thank you, Hillary. Reggie.
Wow. So there's a sleeper here, and that sleeper for me is Marianne John Baptiste.
Okay.
What she did with this film for me made me rethink how we look at people who might not present themselves the way we think they should, but we don't really totally understand them. And I think she brought some of that to the forefront.
Thank you.
I don't think that Cynthia is going to win, because I think that the popularity of the movie, you know, the kind of like that movie that did really well at the box office, and so I think that people are probably going to be looking at Angelina or Demi, and if they do look at Demi, the substance just didn't work for me.
And the last word, God help us, goes to Shawn Edwards.
Oh, this one's easy. Demi Moore. I mean, I know our voters. This is Demi Moore, Demi Moore, Demi Moore. She's going to win all the way. But Marianne Jean Baptiste and Hard Truth delivered the best performance. But she don't have a shot. She's not going to get enough votes. But it's going to be Demi Moore. She's just not going to get enough. Where the votes coming from? Especially because you have her and Cynthia. She's not going to get. I mean, it's like politics. You know how many precincts is she going to win? It's Demi Moore. No, it is Demi Moore all day. Our group want to see Demi Moore walk on stage, make that speech. Like when it comes to that, they want to see it. It's Demi Moore. Plus,
Shawn, isn't that what I started off saying?
That's exactly. We've come full circle. Yes.
You said us though. I've said they.
Yeah. Okay. We got that. We got that.
They want to. I don't. It doesn't influence me, but I know what people want to see. But she was good in the Substance. Substance is a weird movie, but she was good in it.
Do me a favor. You're all going to the awards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Please do a favor. Have a group hug before you start. Okay. Just gather together.
No, this is called banter. Come on, this is called professional banter. This is what I do on TV every day. It's professional
it's what you
banter.
do. Yes.
No one's gonna watch anything if we all agree. Professional
I
banter.
know.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
No, I like Demi Moore, man. Come on.
Have a great Sunday, and we'll think of. I will certainly think about these things Sunday night and Monday morning. I guarantee you. Thank you, Hillary.
Wait a minute, we're not gonna let you off the hook. Which movie?
That's right. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Terry, come on.
Hey, what movie are you feeling this year out of the 10?
No. My film was a complete unknown.
Okay.
That was my film. Okay.
Okay.
I'm there.
And you going with Timothy for Best Actor?
Yes, I am.
And
I
who
love
for
the
Best
fact that-
Actor?
I love the fact that he sang in his own voice. It took him some force.
That was good.
I like
Who you
that
got for
one.
Best Actors? Who you got for Best Actress?
It's going to be Demi Moore.
And since you are the wine man, which a lot of people who follow you know, but I don't know if everybody here knows, over and under, will the wine served at this year's Critics' Choice Awards be worth a damn or not?
I don't know. It won't. No, it won't. No. Good night, all. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, buddy.